hood, hierarchy, mob pad. Every single episode, man, we gonna give them a little background.
I know how I feel because I've been through that 1,000 times.
Lovely ghetto you, beautiful ghetto you, sweet ghetto
We made so much doing that. I started taking that money, throwing the concerts.
It's your boy, Project Pata. Hood hierarchy, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, look, man, if it ain't in the hood, man, it ain't on here.
Hey, this your boy Mario Cannon, man. You rocking with Hood Hierarchy. You already know what's going down.
Team Pretty P stand up. It's a wrap. Tune in.
It's Deli Dale. And whenever I got time and I'm relaxing and I'm chilling, I don't give a damn if I'm laying in the bed with you. I'm checking out Hood Hierarchy. And it's just that simple, just that easy.
It's 7 Up, man, straight from Brooklyn. I want y'all to check my boy out, Uncle Beast, Hood Hierarchy. Get the dopest interviews, the dopest content, the dopest platform, straight from Chi-Town, man. You know what it is, man. We representing Uncle Beast, Hood Hierarchy. That's the highest of prestige. Get it? You already know, that's on game, you heard?
Well, I was saying this the one and only HD president, Mr. Bow Bow Bow. This is Hood Hierarchy checking in. I'm signing out. HD4, bow, bow, bow.
OGs and young gods, OGs and young gods.
I know you guys are probably asking yourselves, who gave this nigga the right to write a Bible? But if we all look past the lies and false teachings of the men that portray themselves to be the powers that be and seek the truth, our lives just as well as all that lives lives of Bible. No matter what man-made religion we believe in, just being true to thy Lord within ourselves will bring us peace. It's gonna be alright, cause in hell, we can't win the war between good and evil without being truthful to the powers that be.
Yeah, I'm busy about my money and not too many. Can't get with me, stick to my lonely, stick to my homies. Cause I ain't friendly, ain't no gimme. I pulled it out the mud before I give this to you quick. Ain't no showing love. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm booked. Damn so busy. Schedule paper money, run it up.
Yeah. Bloodstone the street feature, you know what I'm saying? Game face. With my nigga DJ Fingers on the track. It's my time. Let's get it. Rhyme rapper, beat slapper, G, whatever you wanna call it. Bloodstone, the street preacher, lifetime, we the holy. Call it like I be it, full-time MCing. And really don't care about you fools disagreeing. Straight reality coming out of SD. Knocking out the competition like Muhammad Ali. Confident, never cocky with these bars I be spitting. But very serious about these fruits I be hitting. Fools start switching, then they start snitching. Faster than the chef cooking things in the kitchen. And yeah, I gotta mention to you undercover devils, even on the step ladder, you're not on my level. Time, homie, it's my time. You know I gotta get mine. Don't worry about me, gonna fix your own plate. You know I gotta get it, cause time don't wait.
Thank you, everyone. You are now welcome aboard the G-Man Experience.
F&G shit. Shot the whole day, go. Shot the bro Trey Boogie. We sliding.
Johnny Rocket.
Sliding in the rentals, trying to run the milli up. In the southeast, Trey Boogie been a plug. Rubber bands on the blues, hella panoramic views. If you get into it with the squad, you can never lose. It's on the flow like Yellow Rider. I got your vibe on the toes like nail polish. In the city, we get respected from everybody. You about to pull up on Trey Boogie, now let's chop it. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Got it wet, it's not a cut. Ain't worried about what nobody else got, cause I got enough. Me and Trey Boogie locked in, he threw a lob, I dunk. Heard the beat and sauced it up, can't nobody go hard as us. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up.
Yes, sir. We got action. We got action. We got action. What's happening, y'all? This is Let's Chop It Up. I'm your big homie Trey Boogie. And yeah, you right. This is a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. I know you ain't used to me on Wednesdays and stuff, but we active all week this week. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate everybody on Facebook tapping in. I see y'all on Instagram. But come over to the YouTube. It's right there pinned. The YouTube is pinned. Boogie's Flavor 619. Come over to the YouTube. Gotta say what's up. I see you, Shout Body. I see you, Shout Body. That's right. I see you. Hey, I don't want to hold you. And I don't want to hold my guest because, you know, he's a busy man. We tried to do it before and couldn't do it, so, you know, we wasn't going to not do it. We were going to run it back, you dig? I've been waiting for this interview. And have him on my platform. You know, ever since I met him, the first time I met him, he been real supportive. He big love, Shout Body. Big love. You know, man, he's very instrumental in the boom bap, in the underground. You know, I call it the boom bap, the underground, and that's what it is. You know, that pure hip hop scene. And I remember when I first seen him. We gonna do this. We gonna bring him up. Without further ado, allow me to introduce to some and present to others my man, Indian K.
Salute.
You know, I was gonna get in. I was going to get into how when I first met you, I don't even know if you know this. You dig? I didn't even meet you. I seen you. It was at a Goldhound thing at Balboa Park, and you was up there killing it, right? And I was like, yo, who is dude? I thought I knew all the artists in Dago and stuff, you know what I mean? And I was like, who is dude? Then the next time I seen you was at White Drace's show he did at Vibes.
Yeah.
It was you, Nemi, Scales, Fuego, what's my man from Long Beach? He remind me of Sugar Free and Quick, Light Bulb. You did.
Oh yeah.
And I remember we chopped it up after y'all got done performing and stuff, and that's when we formally met outside in the patio. And I was like, yo, y'all are dope. You know
Appreciate
what I mean?
Appreciate that.
And ever since then, you know, we've been locked in. And I appreciate you. You dig? I appreciate you, man. But yeah, it may be one or two people on my profile, you know, on my platform that may not know you, bro. So go ahead and give them your elevator pitch. Let them know about you real quick.
My name's Indian K, man. I represent San Diego and Phoenix, Arizona. I make music, you know what I'm saying? I'm an MC, owner of the Go Win brand, clothing brand, and 5 Minutes with K podcast series that I'm trying to get going.
Okay. That's right. Arizona, Dago.
Yeah.
So what, you was born in Arizona And then you came to
Nah,
Dago.
nah. So I was born in L.A. in the Harbor area.
I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a American Indian from right here in San Diego County,
Okay.
Rincon Indian Reservation. So I left Escondido at about 11 years old and ended up in Phoenix because my dad he caught 3 strikes.
Mm.
So me and my older brother went out to Arizona to live with my aunt.
Dang. How old were
Yeah.
you when that happened? You said
Uh,
11?
yeah, about 10, 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tragic, man. I grew up with moms and pops in and out of the system, but they never caught, I didn't have to deal with that. My cousin got 3 strikes, but
Yeah.
my pops or moms, that would have been tragic, man.
Yeah, it was a trip, I mean, how my dad lived, we kind of knew, and he used to always tell me and my brother, like, hey, when they catch up to me, you know what I'm saying, I'm going away for a while. But we never thought it was gonna be like life. My dad actually ended up dying in prison, dog, a couple years
Damn.
back. Yeah, just his heart gave out, you know what I'm saying? And
My condolences.
yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, my brother died in the system. My younger brother, but it was from a suicide. So they say, you know.
Yeah, it's even the same with my dad. It's like you never know what it really is. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So in Arizona, is that where you fell in love with this thing we call hip hop, or how did that
Yeah,
happen for you?
yeah. So I was kind of already, my older brother had put me onto like the Chronic and shit like that. Rapping Forte, Stay Off Parole. But I was more at the time into just music, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was really into like oldies and like Guns N' Roses and just different types of music. It wasn't until Arizona that I actually like fell in love with hip hop.
That's right. What part of Arizona you said again? Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah, the West Side. I'm a West Side baby. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They got a nice hip hop scene out there, and Arizona is one of the states that really rock with West Coast, well, especially San Diego rappers.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Shoot, I got put on the jail felony out there when I was
Yep.
young.
Yeah.
So like even when people be talking, it's like not that anybody disrespects jail, but I don't feel they put him high enough. And I'm like, bro, we were listening to jail in Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? So dude did his thing.
He did his thing. He was in New York when I was in New York, and that was cool. Two San Diego brothers out in the East Coast. I went out there for the military and ended up in upstate New York. And then through the military and after the military, I was DJing still and producing and representing and always was playing Jo stuff.
Yeah.
Schizo, Brady, Cut Father would send me stuff. Rest in peace.
Rest in
Cruise
peace to the
Control.
OG.
I got stories about, they were all at my Brady, Pokey, Gumby, Tony the Skit. So this before Brady was Brady, Tony the Schizo was Tony the Schizo. We were all in a group called Bum Rush Posse. You dig?
Okay.
And this one after I left Vicious Beat Posse. So and I did the going away party. Everybody was there. My man Brian Blow, R.I.P. Everybody was there at my going away party. They were mad at me for leaving because I was bringing them back and forth to L.A. Different. I brought Brady. I brought Tony. I brought Gumby, Brian Blow. I brought a bunch of people because I was dancing and stuff like that and ghostwriting. So I was always
Yeah.
performing and bringing folks out to L.A. And then I left to go in the Army. Came back.
That's dope.
Everybody kept it going. You did.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody kept it going, and Brandon became Brady. Tony was Tony the Schizo, and yeah, man, big up to them. Big up to them, man.
Yeah, shout out to the legends right there.
Yeah, I love hearing they call them legends. Well, I'm your big homie. You did.
Yeah.
So back to you though. You got into the hip hop out there and stuff. Did you start rapping and stuff back then too, or when did you get
So
lyrical?
it kind of came a few years later. So when me and my brother ended up out there with my aunt, we were kind of following my father's footsteps,
Okay.
and we got put into the foster care system. So I kind of like was falling into the street life, to the gangs and stuff. But I always like respected like the music, of course, because it's like telling our life story. And my OG, Big Phrase, rest in peace. He just recently passed away. He was actually the staff in the group home, and they used to, when they would get their paychecks, they'd meet up at one house, and they would be outside ciphering because the staff was just regular people. And there was dudes from Chicago, there was dudes from back here, Cali, Northern Cali, New York. So I would hear these dudes rhyming, and all had different styles. You know what I'm saying? But it was OG Big Phrase that like I I seen that and it was like, man, I could do that because by this time I'm like 13 and I'm already in and out of juvie. I'm in the, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what? I could tell my life. And so I just started trying to I first tried to write, and I don't know if my mind was moving too quick or what, but I just couldn't write. So I was like, forget this writing, you know what I mean? I just started freestyling and I caught the freestyle. So for the longest until I actually started creating music, like pieces of music, I that's when I started writing. Before that, I was just a freestyler. Like when I met a lot of the homies out here and at these ciphers and stuff, I'm just freestyling. There's no writtens, there's no tucked in. Even like Nimi, he'd be like, "Bro, you don't got a verse tucked in." I'm like, "Nah, bro," because I had got confident with like my freestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was about 13. By 15, 16, bro, I was nice. By 15, 16, I was nice, for the standards of what it was in late 90s. And like everywhere I went, and it was just freestyling, bro. And people were just like, yo, when did you write that? And I'm like, I didn't write that. I just came up with it in my head.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I want to get to that, but I don't want to pass over what you said. You was in the foster care system. I my daughter was in the foster care system. She was with me till 3 years old, and then I finally got her at 15 years old. Out of the system and stuff. How was that for you? I don't want to pass that. You just brushed
So
over
it
that.
it was I mean it was at 11 I can say that I went through every emotion like being placed into that,
How
you
many
know.
different homes? Like, were you with
So
parents?
I never made it into foster homes because I was 11, my brother was 13. So we just stayed in group homes, like boys' homes.
Yeah.
And then we ran away a lot and we were in and out of juvie. And I never say this to like sound crazy, but it's like, there's a big difference between making it into somebody's actual home where it's like a family and like being like, oh, I grew up in foster care and like you grew up like kind of normal. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in a boys' home.
Yeah.
Everybody in there was coming out of juvie, all races, all gangs, all different sides. Shit, me and my brother were coming in and out of juvie. You know what I mean? We had staff. It was just like it was a business. So it was. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was all bad, but I mean, when they tell you like, "Hey, you're gonna be here till you're 18," I was like, "All right, cool." Like, we start programming. You know what I'm saying?
I,
Like,
but we got a lot to talk about, y'all. Again, y'all on Facebook, Instagram, I think Twitch. Come over to the YouTube. Come over to the YouTube. You say you started programming. When people talk about Indian K, and when I met you, you was Indian cool. You did.
yeah,
They always talking about, that's my homie. That's family. My Indian Damu.
yeah, yeah.
How did that talk to me about that? Because that's and your
So,
system and being in this in the prisons as a Indian Damu. But talk about all that.
so I mean, I mean, Arizona operates different, bro. Phoenix, and like I said, we're talking late '90s, so there's no, there's no north south for the essays and stuff, and like the Mexicans gangs over there ain't pushing that. They're pushing like their brown power stuff, and
Brown pride.
yeah, yeah, and there was more. I mean, this has been like this everywhere. There was more Crips, you know what I'm saying, than Damus, and salute the Keyways, you know what I mean. But there
Yeah,
was more
big
of
love.
them than us, and I don't know, like a big part of the decision, and I know it sounds crazy, is like we I was drawn, my older brother and me were drawn to red, like, you know what I'm saying? And like my dad, he was a South Sider, and rest in peace, my little brother, they're, South Siders, but
That's what I wanted to know because
he,
usually Indians run with. But go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
yes, all right, so I'm from 35th and Dunlap. Like when we made our mark, I'm from 35th and Dunlap. Um, there happened to be some older homies and shit that were from Fourth World Paru, which is like deep West Side, and we would just be out there doing our thing, and they kind of came into our area and kind of laced us up and gave us the okay of like, yo, if you guys are gonna push this, you know what I'm saying, then this is what you guys really need to do, and kind of laced us up, and so I I would say easily from 13 on up, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a B thing with me, and it ain't no disrespect to anybody else. Obviously I'm older now, but coming up young, dog, it was, hey, I'm with the flame chucks and the flame laces and the tan dickies and the, you know what I mean? Me and my brother are flanked up. The crazy part is we used to get into a lot of stuff with Mexicans because they thought we were from, you know what I mean, the other side.
Right.
And so Arizona operates different, bro. Like there's a whole neighborhood out there, shout out to the homies from Southside Posse. They're Damus. They're mainly Mexicans though. You know what I'm saying? And so they
Yeah.
actually went through a lot of stuff in the joint
Yeah.
because their people was like, yo, and they was like, we're pushing this, dog. Like, and their people are like, nah, you ain't doing that over here. You know what I'm saying? And they actually went to war for it. And they're good now. They fought, they stood on business. As far as it goes for me and my people, yeah, we back up the Mexicans and they back us up. But like I said, Arizona's not, there's not south and north. It's all one raza. And for my people, you know what I'm saying? I was always raised, even by my dad, like, hey, if you get locked up, God forbid, we run with our people. All that gang stuff ain't for us. What helped me though is Arizona also didn't have, the brothers. They don't break down like that. You guys are all
It
one too.
it ain't
There's
like
no,
Cali.
nah, there's no blood car. There was a Crip car, but it was mainly for the neighborhood, for West Side City Crips. Shout out to the fellas from over there too. They had a conglomerate because they were like one of the biggest gangs, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like, oh, those guys are, those are Kumis, those are 408 boys, these are 204. It don't even, it's Maricopa County, and yeah, you end up in prison with people from other counties, but it's not even broken down to this like, I'm an IE boy, I'm an LA boy, I'm a San Diego. It's like, dog, I'm Indian, we run together. Dog, I'm black, we run together. Dog, I'm Mexican. You know what I mean? The only thing with my people is they, are very adamant of like, hey, while you're here with us, all that gang banging stuff, we don't play that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So I didn't have to go in and be all like, trying to, the Damu homies wasn't like, are you gonna run with us or are you gonna run with your people? Nah, it wasn't that. It's instantly, oh, you're Indian, you run over here. But I did used to get my people, right? Because it's still a racial structure thing, and it's still racist, dog. The West Coast still operates racistly in prison. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so my people would trip out on me. And my older brother, he told me he got the same thing where like you could, I move different. Most of my people back home are like coming off the res and like they fit this stereotypical like Indian, and like my people are like, yo, what's up with you? Because I talk different, I move different, and we used to always have the time like, dog, I'm from the city, I'm from West Side 35th, like You know what I mean? I'm Indian and I'm pushing our people, and that's what I'm gonna do. But it's like some of them would kind of feel away because the brothers, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a black neighborhood, technically.
Yeah.
So the brothers that knew me, whether they were Keyways, Don Moves, and we had crossed paths because I grew up in the system. That's one thing, and it's with anything. I ended up in prison with people that I was in juvie with. So these are dudes I've known since 11, 12. We know each other. So
Right.
they would be like, hey, K, what up? Like, it wasn't no thing to be like, what are you doing here? It's like, what's up, homie? And we have this like, this good vibe because we know each other. Dog, I've known this fool since a kid. And so my people would be like, how you know that black dude? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, I'll keep telling y'all I'm from the city. You know what I'm saying?
Were
And
you in?
so,
Were you in Tent City?
oh man, I did all that, man. So it's funny because um I be talking to people, and I even made one of my 5 minutes of K, where it's like I said, none of this stuff. It ain't to brag or nothing, but I come up under Sheriff Joe Arpaio. You know what I'm saying?
That dude.
And like, yo, I'm talking 2 meals a day where you get a Lambo bag in the morning and you got to make sure that you stretch your little bag of cookies and your sandwich till dinner time. And when dinner
Right.
comes, they're just giving you slop. You know what I mean? Like pink uniforms. That stuff never bothered me. Like homies would be like, I don't know why they have us wearing pink. Honestly, I don't care what they got us wearing. We're all locked up.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? I was putting in work in my pinks and stuff. So I'm not tripping off none of that. Like, but yeah, I was in Tent City. I've been through those conditions. It's funny because I went that whole where they have the juvenile and the adult county jails is all in one complex. So it's like all I did was went from the juvenile section to the adults part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I come from, and people trip out on this. I come from, Madison Street Jail, and anybody from Phoenix, Arizona knows like I come from Madison days. You know what I'm saying? That place is closed down now, but that's the original jail. That's where the homies were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I see y'all on Instagram. I see y'all commenting on Facebook. Look, I gotta switch through screens to get there. So come over to the YouTube, and I could see it here, and I could post your comments and stuff. But I see y'all. Big up, Elbow. I see you. Out here, on the West Coast, when I was locked up, the Indian brothers ran with the others.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it was a few Indian, Asian, this and that. They run with the
Yeah,
others out
yeah.
here.
And that tripped me out. No disrespect to the others or anything either, but it tripped me out because so when I first came back to San Diego, I was on a parole run, dog. You know what I mean? So when they actually caught up to me, I was in Vista County Jail. You know what I mean, on the top floor, and I'm sitting I'm going into the holding, and the cop, he's like checking me, looking at my tattoos. He points at my stomach. He's like, "Is that going to be a problem here?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just passing through." You know what I mean? But I'm like in my head going like, "Dang, who do I keep hearing this other." And so I see a brother when I'm in the holding walks by, and obviously we look at each other. He's like, "You a skin?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro." And he ended up being from San Pasqual, right next to my res. And I'm like, "Yo, who do we run with?" And he was like, he's like, "Oh, I'm running with the Southsiders, right?" He's like, "But we can run with the others."
Yeah.
So the first thing in my head, I go, I ain't a Southsider. No disrespect, all love to the Southsiders. Like I said, my pops and my little brother. But in my head, I'm a Don Move. And not even that, I'm Indian. I'm not a Southsider. I would never run like that. So I ran with the others. But it tripped me out because I ended up having a Sally. I think I had an Asian Sally and a Samoan Sally. You know what I'm saying? And they were cool. They were cool, but it just tripped me out because I come from a different structure of like program. You know what I mean? Like without getting in, so kind of the way they moved kind of threw me off. But I was luckily only there for a few weeks, and then Arizona came and threw me in a van and drove me back. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
it was a
wild.
trip. Yeah, that I found out like the others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Like, I kept having to explain to some of the bros because they're like, why didn't you run with us over here with the Southsiders? I'm like, I ain't a Southsider first and foremost, so I'm not gonna disrespect them like that and run with them. But I'm coming from a state where, like, as soon as I step in the county in Arizona, it's like I'm Indian, and they're like, okay, your people are right there. There's no others. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was wondering, that tripped me out. I always just wondered, you know what I'm saying? But let's get back to the nitty gritty, though. You did. You said you came down here and was, freestyling. You was with Nimmy. Nimmy asked you if you don't have a verse tucked in. Big up to Nimmy, too. That's my guy.
Yeah,
That's
shout out my brother right there.
When did you take it serious and start really getting into the lab? And was it, because I know you went to school for engineering and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, when I came back. I hit here. I get picked up for my parole violation. I kill that. I come back out, and my kid's mom at the time, she's well, my kid's mom, she's from Central Cali. So
Okay.
we move up there, and I feel like I was just messing around on a computer or something. And my older brother's like, he's trying to make sure that I stay on the right track. And he's like, I just had my first daughter, and he's like, I think he's in a good headspace. He's like, yo, you down to do this music for real? And I'm like, yeah. He was moving back from Arizona, and he had just cashed out his what is that? I think it's like that 401.
401k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, if you're gonna take this serious, I'm gonna send you something in the mail. And I'm like, cool. He ends up buying us some mics and stuff. And like I know, like, being in it, knowing like, oh, we need it more, but he got us some blue Yeti mics, the little
Okay.
pocket,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
would
yeah.
which work would do the job. And
A
so
starter pack.
we started, recording like little mixtape stuff, but I didn't really know like what I was doing. So I enrolled at the community college just to try to learn how to like engineer myself, which that turned into like I learned how to play the piano, read sheet music, write sheet music, mic instruments, all just trying to chase like I didn't even want the cert. When they're like, yo, I'd be talking to people in class, they're like, well, what are you gonna do with your cert? Where are you gonna try to get on at the convention center? Because I guess that's where they all went. I was like, no. I was like, I'm just doing this so I can know how to engineer myself. And they're like, all right. But so that started it. And then fast forward, I ended up coming back down, moving officially back to Dago, and we start hitting the ciphers at the hostel. And then I meet Rick. And Rick actually is what really kicked it into drive for me, because he started pointing me where I needed to go.
Big up to Rick
Yeah, I
Scales.
mean, he's like, yo, you know, hey, you're dope, boom, boom. You should do this, do that. So then I put out Culture House Boy, and Rick was like one of the only ones that was like, hey, that's a dope project. There's the people that reached out and told me it was dope body of work were people I didn't expect to do it. So that kind of fueled me. And then Rick, though, once again, he's like, hey, though, where'd you record at? Boom, I tell him to record at. And he's like, all right, go link with Billy No Jokes. And so I linked with Billy No Jokes, and the rest is history. Like, that's all my like solo stuff is, unless I'm doing it in house and trying to mess with like on my own, it's Billy. Billy did Duality 1, Duality 2. You know what I mean? Like, I recorded it there. He engineered, mixed, masters, all of it. And but yeah, it wasn't till Rick, dog, that I started really like, all right, let me do this. You know what I'm saying? And he started helping me even with shows and stuff. Hey, go to this show, be here, be present there, and that's how I met everybody.
That's what's up. My favorite rapper, Rick Scales, man.
Oh yeah, he's a man. This is funny. So Rick Scales is on Duality, um, and the song's called Duality, and he came in, and I had sent him some of the hey, you can pick what you want to get on, right? And I had sent him one specifically, and he comes into the studio session, and I'm like, what'd you think of that? And he's like, yo, it's cool, it's cool. He's like, It ain't. But I knew the way he was saying cool, cool, right? I'm like, oh, great. He's like, it's cool. He's like, it ain't for me though, right? And I'm like, yeah, all right, for sure. And I'm like, would you be down to listen to something, right? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So I just tell Billy, like, yo, I'm getting Rick on a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, Billy runs the songs. And it happened to be Duality that he instantly heard it. And he goes, I got something for that. I guess he already had it or something. I don't know, but what he had is fit perfect, right?
Yeah.
He lays his stuff down. And then he's like, yo, you mind if I add something? And I'm like, man, do whatever you want, Rick, right? I'm thinking he's like wants to add some ad libs, or right? He's looking at Billy's tambourine and he grabs it and he goes, hey, go back, tells Billy to the hook. So he plays the hook. He goes, just hit record. Yo, he starts doing the tambourine. I swear, that little tambourine sound to me made that song pop. So even when I hear it now, it's like that you'll hear a tambourine in the song. That's not part of the beat. That was Rick just vibing, like, yo, can I add something? And he grabs the tambourine and he's just like,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah. So
he's definitely that dude, man. Like, for
yes,
real. And I met
yeah,
him the same day I met you. Like, shook hands with y'all at the event at Vibes. When he got off stage, I had to tell him, man, like, yo, you are dope, bro. I know I've been in music all my life out here, in Dago, and I'm like, you
he's
are
special.
dope, man. You are dope. You remind me of like a Kendrick Lamar. I told him this. He'll tell you himself, like, yo, your stage presence, that's what I love too. He
Yeah.
performs. He performs.
Yeah. And I tell him he like floats sometimes. It trips me out. Like the way he moves to his performance doesn't necessarily match, but it does.
Right.
Like his song will be upbeat and he'll do like some slow thing, and I'm just watching him like, yo, why does this all fit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
shout
dope.
out Rick, man. That's a good
Shout
brother right
out.
there.
Shout out. Another good brother is my brother. You dig? My man, homie. My Ace Boon Cool, Nimmy. How did
Yeah.
that connect? Because when I met y'all was doing songs, and you still doing songs together, but y'all was on stage the whole time together. Like, how did? And I
Yeah.
thought that was a
So
dope combo, you and him.
that was just that all that's organic, Nimmy's my brother outside of this entertainment, music, like,
Facts.
you know. But I met him at the hostel too, and for the longest, we never really had a music relationship. Like we didn't. It wasn't like, hey, dog, we're gonna do songs together. We just became friends. He likes battle rap,
Yeah.
so he would host battle raps, and he doesn't live too far from me, and so he would invite, hey, come to this battle, come to the battle event I'm throwing at the pad. We're gonna have pizza and food, and just pull up. And so me and him just built a real relationship. And it wasn't until he did the remix for Mr. T.
Oh yeah. They call him
So
Mr. T.
yeah, he's like, yo, I need you to get on it. And I pull up to Potty Mouth, shout out Potty Mouth. I pull up to his studio, and everybody, I think Drake Cat was there, Collie, I feel like was there, or he might not have, but all the people that were on the song just kind of one by one showed up. And so I get in, I lay my thing, and I'm just end up kicking it, And then he's like, "Yo, you killed that," because it's like I think we got like 8 bars, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, it's dope how you can kind of say a lot in such a little space, right?" And that's what I've always prided myself on. Like when I write, I'm trying to paint this real picture that's cinematic in that little short time that I got. And
Yeah.
so he's like, "Yo, you killed it," And he's like, "We should work on some music and stuff or something like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, no doubt." And Potty starts playing beats, and me and Nimmy created the undercard. Like in a week, we had the undercard done.
Yeah. Nimmy.
And then boom, we just been, and I'm blessed for Nimmy because, I'll never sit up here in front a lot of the opportunities I had was because of Nimi, you know, him always bringing me with him. And like, you know, there's, I mean, and it ain't not to put anybody on blast or anything, but you know, there's people that was like, yo, why you mess with him? You know what I'm saying? Telling Nimi like, why you, because I know people don't, the people that love my music for what it is. And the
Right.
people that don't, they're, I don't know, they may not think I'm an MC because some of it could be negative or it's too street for them or whatever it is. But people would be like, "Yo, why you pick it?" And then he's like, "What? Like that's my dog." Like it just, and he says it all the time. He's like, "Man, that's my dog. He just happens to be dope too." And so, yeah, I think we go good together. Like when
Y'all
we
do. Y'all
perform,
do.
it's like you know me, I'm very like chill, reserved, and
And
he's
it
real like,
like ODB, like
yeah, yeah.
animated,
So
and then he take his shirt off.
yeah, hey, and he's like, his energy helps kind of bring me out, but he was like, yo, I don't expect you to be like me. He's like, but come on, Kay. Like, so that's why on stage, like, he'll tell me, he's like, oh, I've seen it coming out because he made me realize like that, yeah, I'm a reserved person, but I can have my swag, and still be reserved and quiet, but still have that
Yeah.
energy of like, yeah, I'm the shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It don't have to be like his, but it gotta match it, and y'all
Yeah,
match
yeah,
each other
yeah.
perfect. Y'all match each other perfect. Big up to my man Uncle Beats and Hood Hierarchy Mobcast. Big up to, I don't know if I mentioned my sponsors. I see, I showed the videos, but big up to Shout Body and us, the Thug Bible Movement, Us Before Me. Big up to my man Nine Kill Radio,
Salute, salute.
Cognac, KP Platinum Sounds.
KP.
You dig? Bloodstone. You gotta get your mind right. Podcast and my man K9 Compton, man. Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody. But yeah. But then you was doing your thing, and then you just gave it up. I remember
Yeah.
I kept trying to get you on when I was doing my events and stuff like, hey man, Indian K, I need you, bro. I'm good. I'll judge. And you did.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
you know you was there supporting, but I kept trying to get you back on the mic because you was dope, but you was done with it. Why? What happened during that transition?
Just life, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, some of my vices started getting the better of me. And then one of the biggest reasons is I don't like where I was headed with my music.
Mm.
You know, it's always been like a healing process for me. It's always been therapeutic. Like, and I felt like I started trying to like play rapper. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to play rapper and like,
While you were doing other things, or
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. Like, and then like I I get like nobody wants to be like listen to depressing music and all that. I get that, but it was like trying to like create these like I'm you know I'm tough. I'm nobody could get like eat nothing's gonna break me like these songs and then just like listening to them I'm like yo I don't feel like that because like I know who I am but I'm like yo I'm over here going through real life stuff
Yeah,
and I want to get back to making music about real life stuff. And so I kind of just pumped the brakes, you know what I'm saying? And even like performing and all that stuff, it was more of trying to get back with myself because I stopped kind of even going out because I knew when I went out what I was getting into, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And yeah, so I just kind of took a step back and shout out JX Beats and Admiral Atlas and like these producers that were actually paying attention to me and listening to what I'm saying because then I started kind of talking a lot. The talk, 5 minutes with K, talking shit K, and like they were really listening and they started coming at me. Hey, I got these beats for you. I got this beat for you. Hey, I hear you on it. My relative, Cali Los, in Northern Cali. Hey, I hear you on the song, and I'm like. You know, no disrespect to nobody, but I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Let me listen to it, right? They're gonna want me to be saying some wild stuff, and then people started sending me this pain music, bro. Like, yo, dog, I got this song I'm gonna put out. It's pain. You know what I'm saying? Kill C Ray. You know what I mean? The people started putting me on this music. They've seen, oh, this dude wants to do something different.
Right.
Here, let me feed it. So like JX Beats, me and him are finishing up a project, working on the last few things. Frankie Fayless, you know what I'm saying? Me and him are working on a project that we've been working on the concept of doing it. We've got songs together. It's just life hits me, hit him, and basically though the album is basically like overcoming your obstacles. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to just put. I don't not saying positive, but I'm not giving music. You know that's going to be like where I'm trying to what is it punchlines and you know like and be like I'm a superhero like Magneto like I
Right, right,
nah
right, right.
from here on out like you're probably gonna hear a lot of K talking about my 9 to 5 and dealing with depression and dealing with just my life and dealing with my past that I thought was you know what I'm saying like because like I said when I fell in love with music young, but a lot of it was because what I was hearing these dudes saying in their music. I'm like, dude, I can use that as an outlet. Like this is one of the only things that's ever stuck with me. Like even being locked up, it's like people will be like, "Yo, did you write a lot when you were locked up?" No, I didn't because I was programming. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
was
And
locked
and
up.
I use that word program a lot because those who understand what I'm saying when I say
You programming.
I wasn't just doing time. I wasn't just there. I was with the functions.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be a rapper, but when I was
You're
alone or when I was with the bro and we're walking the yard, I kick a little freestyle and you know, people used to trip out, what, you rap? And I was dope. You know what I'm saying? In county, I rapped a little bit more because county, you know what I'm saying? It's isn't like prison. So
right.
it's like you can interact with each other as long as you ain't eating each other's food. So they would be kicking it on the table, boom, 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 and I'd walk over, hey, excuse me, fellas. You know, they'd be looking at me like, what? Like this look, this Indian dude, like, and I'm like, you mind if I drop something? They're like, drop something. And then I
Yeah.
would start going, and then you know what I mean? They'd be like, yo, you're nice, homie. And I just hey, appreciate it. Thank you guys, and go right back to what you know what I'm saying? To doing time. Like
Yeah, you got a program. You got a
yeah.
program.
So it's like I want that feeling again. I want to, you know, a lot of my music I make, I really don't listen to it, but when I do listen to it, it takes me into these times of my life that help me heal. It's weird. Like even the bad stuff. Like me and my older brother got a song called Culture House Boy off Duality, the Duality One album called Culture House Boy. Culture House is the name of the group home. And Culture House Boy, Culture House was gladiator school. You know what I'm saying? So Culture House Boy, and basically the song is like we brought this like cinematic. I'm like, I remember chilling at Desert West, watching the world move 360 view, shots ring out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling, this is all true story, but it's from this view of like that 13-year-old kid falling in love with that life. And I know it's messed up. People are like, "What? You're glamorizing the streets?" Nah, but I'm telling you, like what I was seeing, how
Yeah,
I
what
was
you been
feeling.
through.
Yeah, so it's I want to get back to that, you know, and I think I'm in a better headspace now, and I think I'm ready to be more open, you know what I'm saying, of really what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like I battle with depression, you know what I'm saying? I wake up every day. I gotta tell myself to, hey, be happy. And it's not that I don't think I'm not happy. I'm cool. I got a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? My kids are good. Like, but I still have these thoughts.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's the part now where I'm going, wait, I get like when I was not working or when I was homeless or like I get why I felt like that, but why do I feel like this now? I'm cool. I got a little setup. I'm watching TV. Like I got a nice phone, I got a nice car, my job is a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and I still have these moments of like, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? Type. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I want to. It's like it's funny. I say this joking, man, but I got so much respect for this artist, and people will probably try to laugh, but um, I'm about to Joe Budden in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Joe Budden this. Like I'm giving the heart, the real heart, and those who mess with it are gonna stay. And those that are like, dude, you depress me, yo, I get it too, and it ain't for you. You know
Hey,
what I'm
there's a
saying?
there's a demographic for it. That's why, and you bringing it up, and I'm proud of you talking about it because it took me a while to be able to open up and talk about. I deal with PTSD, depression, and all that stuff, and that's why I do the Friday night chop up, where we talk about mental health and physical health issues and stuff. I'd love to have you on that one day if you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that because
You
yeah,
dig?
it's a trip. I always thought, like PTSD. So my baby mom was like, "Yo, you ever think you got like PTSD?" And my first response was like, "What? I ain't never been in the
The
military."
military, right? That's the
And
that's the
and then she starts, explaining it to me, and then just through the years of looking it up, I'm like, "Yo, you know, I know the way that I grew up and the way I lived for most of my life was definitely chaotic." You know what I'm saying?
right.
And it's not where and not trying to be all like, oh, poor me. Because yeah, I went through that phase where I'm like, man, my life was hard and da da da. But now I'm at a point where I go like, no poor me, but yo, my life was messed up and it damaged me. And then now I'm realizing that it did damage me. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, like so yeah, and I just want to be upfront with it, and when I do the 5 minutes of K, yo, I'm not
That's
people
that's
are
where I was going next after this, after you were done. But go ahead and do your thing. Talk about
yes.
5 minutes of K, and
So the 5 minutes with K, bro, I started all that, and people that know what it is, I talk about everything, but I do talk about a lot of like personal and I'm vulnerable. I try to be vulnerable with it, and people always reach out, hey man, yo, much respect for saying that or speaking on this, yo,
yeah,
it takes a lot, and like you're a strong person, and like in my head, I'm like. Yo, you know how many times I sit there before I upload these? You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I'm like, should I put this out? Like, should I let people know this? Should I, you know what I'm saying? Like, even, you know, there's homies that are like, I know that they don't agree that I put it out there. Like, yo, dog, I fight addiction, dog. I'm always be a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fight addiction. And I made a video on that, on 5 minutes of K. And bro, I was scared, bro. Like every time I got a ping, like, oh, notification, I'm waiting for somebody to be saying something crazy. And the feedback was cool. And most of the people I interact with through these 5 minutes with K, they all come to like the DMs on a personal, like, hey, yo, I feel you on that. I found out things about people that I didn't even know that I've known
Exactly,
that are
exactly.
like, hey, like thank you for opening up. I go through this too. And I'm like, wow, I would have never known that you go through that. You like hold it in so well on there, you know what I mean? Like, but 5 minutes to K is for it's for me though,
It's
5
therapy.
minutes, yeah, because I get to talk it out. Like I get to and I'm understanding in real time, like, you know, I I'll do this a lot where I slow down, but it's because I'm really trying to like process.
Right.
And so the 5 minutes of K, it's like when I'm speaking on subjects, at the same time I'm saying stuff, I'm kind of realizing stuff. Like, oh, like you just kind of open, you know what I mean? Open this up. And so I just want, the 5 minutes with K platform to just be like for everybody.
It's sort of like what I'm doing with Friday night chop up. I
Yeah,
always say
yeah.
it's not just for you; it's for me too. This is my therapy. Me being able to talk about out loud with this stuff, it helps me. And when I see people hit me up, tell me, "Hey, man, I was feeling the same way. Thanks. I want to be a part of that. This is some stuff we need to talk about." It make me feel like I'm doing the right thing too. Because there's people out there that need stuff like that. I watch your 5 minutes with K. You dig and be like, yo, yeah. I applaud you for doing that, bro. I
No, I
applaud you for
appreciate
doing
it,
that.
bro. And you know, it's hard, bro. It's hard being vulnerable, bro, and especially like for me, I mean, you know how I am. When I'm out, bro, I give everybody respect. You know, I give everybody respect, and I move a certain way. But I also, I'm very like, I don't manly or however you want to put it, right? So, my biggest thing was like, yo, if you let the world know this, somebody's gonna use it against you as
Think you're
weakness,
weak. Think
and
you're
like
weak.
that, and like I even said it. I said, yo, don't get anything misconstrued, drug addiction, any of that, and think I'm weak, right? But in the same time as I said that in my video, I go, and see, there goes my ego.
Ego, pride.
All my pride, so it's like, haha, hey, I'm being vulnerable with you. Hey, and I'm only joking when I say this next part. Think I'm weak and you can get it.
Right. I'm gonna knock you
Haha, I'm
out.
just joking,
Right.
right? But it's like a serious piece to me where I'm like, and I think that we get that misconstrued a lot where people are walking through life like, I don't care about nothing. Man, I remember when I was young, OGs would tell me straight up, you don't care about nothing, then what are you around us for? Because you are gonna bring all of us down. You
Yeah.
gotta care about something. Having this mentality of like, oh, I'm disrespectful, but I'm open and real about it. Nah, that is what is that? You know what I'm saying?
You're a walking contradiction.
Yes. And so it's like I want to be transparent and like you said, because it helps me. It keeps me accountable to myself, bro.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? When I fall off,
Because it's
and
out
I
there.
yeah, I fall off and go on a bender or something, dog, and I'm like hiding it from the world. Nobody knows. I can go do whatever I want, but letting people I know, and especially the ones that I care about, when they start, all right, this ain't called me in 2 days. Yo, what are you up to? Hey, and then it starts holding accountability because then I'm going, yo, I love these people. I don't want to hurt them like that.
Real
It's
talk.
just I don't, and that's for me. That's not everybody's route. I would say like definitely if don't think Indian K is the therapist. Like go get real help if you need it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm giving is just so somebody could. I know the picture that I've painted. I know how people look at me. So I feel like when I'm saying, "Hey, dog, I cry, I hurt, I battle with this and that people are like, "Yo, this dude's saying it," then it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely need you on the Friday night chop up, bro.
Yeah, I'm with
Because
it. I'm with it.
we'll talk more after this. But yeah, I definitely want you on there, and we could elaborate. I was about to say elaborate. I make up words, y'all. Elaborate on that more. I see you, 9 Kill Radio. Not my man, 9 Kill. What it do? Let's go, champs. Hood hierarchy. Dang, I
Hey, and
can't even my
also,
throat. Hood hierarchy mobcast. My man, Uncle Beats. I see you. He said you got to care about something for sure.
no doubt. Also, too, I'm about to start getting the Go Win merch bag going.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about your merch.
Yeah, so I'm working on new logo designs for the Go Win. It's always going to be simple and like classy Go Win. But right now. I got a couple homies working on, their logos of it, and I kind of want to have the original one and at least three new different ones, and then start pushing it. I'm gonna actually try to break it away from me. So I don't know how easy that's gonna be because I'm gonna have to actually promote it, but it's gonna get its own page, get its own site, and basically try to build Go Win the brand.
I could, we'll talk more about that. I could help you out with all that.
Bet.
I got a team, but it's gonna cost.
No, yeah.
A little, but they'll. You got them every day. Building whatever you want on there. They doing everything for you. So yeah, because I'm gonna need some of that merch. I'm gonna need some of that merch too.
Nah, for sure. Because this time around, bro, I want to do everything right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I did have that opportunity, and I didn't necessarily ruin it because it can come again. But I don't know. I was too caught. I was too much in my own way of just like, yeah, I got these shirts. If you want one, you can get one. Instead of really pushing it,
Yeah.
because I hear it all. People are like, "Yo, that Go Win is dope." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate that." But I didn't do it properly. So now this time around, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing everything right. Like, and no disrespect, we all got to start somewhere. But it's like I don't want AAA shirts. I'm trying to figure out how I can put them on pro clubs. I'm trying to figure out how to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do it right, and I know that money talks. So and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk after this. Anything I could do to help, I got you. The last two NIMI projects been on my label and stuff. You know what I mean, and my distribution. So, that's nothing. You part of the family. You part of the team. So it's nothing.
For sure, for sure.
I'm definitely gonna need a 3X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you. I got you.
I took up a lot of your time tonight. Is there anything we forgot to talk about that you want to talk about or promote? It's your turn. And let everybody know how to get in contact with you, how to follow you, how to get your song, your music,
Yeah.
promote what you got going on real quick. It's all about you before we end.
So, Indian K, the 5 minutes with K, I do that mainly on Instagram, at Indian.cool with the K. Spotify, Indian K. YouTube, I got some videos on there. But right now I'm in the process of working on some albums, and I'm talking albums, so be ready for that. And we're gonna get the merch going again to Go Win. And appreciate you, Trey Boogie, for real, man. Always showing love.
It's love. It's love. Likewise, you always showing me love. And this just, he gonna be back on the platform, y'all. I'm gonna have him.
Yeah, Friday. I want to get in on Fridays. I'm down with that.
I'm gonna be at you after all this, but I
All
got
right.
you. I would love for that to happen. So I'm gonna plug that. It's action. You on Friday.
Bet.
So, you'll be seeing them back on Friday. Y'all hearing it now. So, I appreciate everybody, tapping in, staying a part of the process. I'll be updating y'all on what's going on with me on Friday too. Tomorrow I'll be back. It's my dad's heavenly birthday tomorrow, so the podcast is a birthday celebration for my pops. I'm gonna have family members on. Friday beats. That's the Friday night chop up where I do the mental health and physical health one. The one you liked. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be here with family members, so I want y'all to tap in. I want to do this for my pops. You dig? It's been almost December will be 3 years since my guy left me, man. And
Rest in
I
peace.
just want to do this. You dig? Have it out there for the world. Even after I'm gone, this will be out there. You dig? So
yeah.
Man, K, I appreciate it.
Hey, salute.
You always been that dude. You always been that guy, man. And I appreciate it. You dig? This may be the last time I be able to talk to you or something. We don't know what happens. I just want you to know I appreciate you, dog. And
Likewise,
I'm gonna see you
brother.
Friday. I'm gonna see you Friday.
All right, OG.
Everybody, I appreciate y'all. It's your big homie Trey Boogie. And I'll holla. Let me put it out. I'll holla.
F&G shit. Shout
Big homie Trey Boogie.
We slide.
Johnny Rocket.
Sliding in the rentals, trying to run the milli up. In the southeast, Trey Boogie been a plug. Rubber bands on the blues, hella panoramic views. If you get into it with the squad, you can never lose. It's on the flow like Yellow Rider. I got your vibe on her toes like nail polish. In the city, we get respected from everybody. You about to pull up on Trey Boogie, now let's chop. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Got it wet, it's not a cut. Ain't worried about what nobody else got, cause I got enough. Me and Trey Boogie locked in, he threw a lob, I dunk. Heard the beat and sauced it up, can't nobody go hard as us. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up. If you talking about the game, let's chop it up. If you talking about the hustle, let's chop it up. If you talking about the grind, let's chop it up. Talking about some fly vibes, baby, let's chop it up.